Absolutely, and I think the caveat that goes along with that, Mr. Race, is that you also opened up the Harley Race Wrestling Academy, which is an amazing facility. I know you guys have just moved into actually a bigger facility, so you can increase the training. But you, I think, have been given such an honor. Unquestionably, in my opinion, if you want to learn how to be a professional wrestler, you need to go to the best, and in my opinion, is you. But I think that's also furthered by the fact that many legends of the wrestling industry have gone ahead and sent their children to your trust in training them for professional wrestling, such as Ricky Steamboat Jr., Reed Flair, Amy Hennig, Joe Hennig, and of course current WWE superstar Ted DiBiase. Tell us a little bit about the Academy and what that personally means to you. I think that's got to be a tremendous feather in your cap when these fellow wrestling legends of yours send their children to your trust.
Well, it kicks back to the high era of wrestling when the guys stood one another, stood statue of where you were at, and I was really fortunate able to perform as I had, and had basically everybody in the business's trust, have that seconded for you by them sending their children and grandchildren here.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of them, and you're absolutely right, some of them are the grandchildren, which I think is an amazing, I personally think that's an amazing aspect of wrestling, and not to discount anybody who isn't kind of in that lineage, because we've seen many great wrestlers who haven't had a bloodline, but to me there is something very special when you start to get into the second and the third generation wrestlers, and I really do believe it is in the blood, and sometimes I think with the sport of wrestling it has to be in the blood.
Well, I'm sure that it is. Case of the kids that have been down here, the grandchildren and the children of some very notable people, trust in me to be able to go ahead and develop these kids. They know that they're going to learn what they need to know wrestling, not only for the sake of wrestling, but for the sake of their well-being. What they're taught here is stuff that will keep them in the business for as many years as they want to be.
And I think that is a great point, Mr. Race, because that's one of the things that you do, and I know you did it oh so well in the ring, and I'm sure that's something you're training these current future stars on, but you had an uncanny ability, I have to say, to take anyone and make them look good inside that wrestling ring, and that truly is an art form. To the casual wrestling fan, they may not understand that, but that really is an art form in making your opponent look good.
Well, the better he looks, the better you wind up looking when you beat him.
Absolutely, and you beat them all, Mr. Race. Talk to us a little bit about Ted DiBiase, the son of the $1 Million Man. I think in looking at him, he has all the tools to become a huge star in professional wrestling, and obviously he got those tools. Some of them obviously from the lineage of his grandfather and his father, and then obviously your training academy. But tell me how far you think his star can go.
I don't think there's any end to how far I can go.
Yeah, he is definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
Still a very young guy, and as the older people start to wind down, he's just going to continually climb, not only because of who he is, but what he can do.
Absolutely. When you look, Mr. Race, when you look out across the landscape now in professional wrestling, it has changed so much so that it's more referred to now as sports entertainment than professional wrestling. But When you look out across the landscape now, what do you think professional wrestling needs to do to continue kind of its legacy? For instance, TNA Wrestling is kind of trying to come up and be a second main promotion. Do you think that having, and this is just my opinion, I'm curious what yours, for the WWE being that giant mega corporation that they are, do you think they need another competitor to push them, to make them that much better?
Oh, it doesn't hurt, that's for sure. Having someone out there that you constantly want to be better than, it's a great incentive to go ahead and do it. But the part I like about it is it's finally making the turn, and it's making both sides get back to the name of the game. It's wrestling.
Absolutely, it is something that is a true art form, and you're right. It has kind of gotten convoluted a little bit. But I think when there are people like you out there who keep the tradition and the legacy alive by teaching young future superstars and making them understand, and it's something that you and I spoke about last week, respect. I think respect for the business is the biggest thing, and I think if these younger guys come in with the respect and know their mat wrestling and know the business and know how to take care of their opponents, which are all the things that you teach, I think it will make the business survive.
Well, it's survived a lot of stuff over the years, and I think a turn back to wrestling is desperately needed, and I think that turn is beginning to start.
Yes, it definitely appears that it is getting that way. Back to your promotion for World League Wrestling. About how many shows do you do per year? And for our audience that isn't in the central part of the states and may not be familiar with it, what is kind of your range of where you perform?
Roughly 50 plus shows a year.
Okay.
And I do this so this talent that I'm developing here gets a chance to perform in front of the public night after night here in the confines of themselves. They're only going to go so far. They need that public exposure to be able to develop themselves, their character that they're trying to. This gives them a shot at being who they want to be, and I think it's working.
Yeah, absolutely. And character, even when we talk about wrestling being the key, character is so important too. As you definitely, as the King and as Handsome Harley Race, played a character. You also managed, and you managed the likes of Lex Luger, Vader, Mr. Hughes. You've really done it all in this sport. And it is a true honor and a privilege to have you here on Area 52. And again, if anybody out there would like more information on the Harley Race Academy, or if they would like more information on World League Wrestling, they can go to harleyrace.com. Mr. Race, again, an extreme pleasure. You are truly a legend. I know that word gets tossed around a lot, but with you, it is the absolute truth. And I thank you so much for joining us here in the area.
Appreciate the time, my friend.